You know, have you ever felt that urge to just hit the rewind button on everything?
On everything? You mean?
I mean, not just human history, but like cosmic history,
Hmm.
to find that one single source that just lays it all out.
The blueprint.
The blueprint, where it all started, how it's all structured, what's going on just beyond what we can see.
And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going deep into a really monumental 14th century work that tried to do just that.
Which work is that?
It's the classic Islamic history and commentary, Al-Bidayah was An-Nihaya.
Which means the beginning and the end.
Exactly. Written by the encyclopedic scholar Ibn Kathir.
So our mission for this deep dive is to take you on a journey through his cosmological vision. It's a framework that kind of sets up a hierarchy of all existence.
We're talking from the absolute top, the highest created things, all the way down to Earth.
And not just Earth in general, but the surprising secrets hidden in our own rivers and seas. It's really a profound recalibration of scale.
It is. This dive is so unique because it shows you how the tradition connects destiny, the unseen world, and, well, the very geography of our planet, all under one meticulously researched umbrella.
Okay, so let's unpack this source a bit. And the scholar himself, Ibn Kathir.
Right.
He was born in 701 AH, which is in the 14th century, and he ends up in Damascus. And he wasn't just some historian.
No, not at all. He was a towering figure, a master of hadith, the sayings of the prophet, and, of course, Qur'anic commentary.
He also studied under some of the biggest names of his time, like Ibn Taymiyyah and al-Mizi.
And when you actually read the beginning and the end, you realize it's not just a collection of stories. It's an exercise in critical synthesis.
Yeah.
He was incredibly rigorous.
Oh, sir.
Well, his methodology, he always prioritized the Quran and, the authentic prophetic traditions above everything else.
That's so important, especially when he brings in other sources. I'm thinking of the Israelite, the stories from Jewish and Christian traditions.
Exactly, and that's where his filtering comes in.
How did he handle those?
He would only include those stories, about previous prophets or ancient history, if they didn't directly contradict the primary Islamic sources.
So they weren't for, like, building doctrine.
No, not at all. He used them more for, let's call it narrative color, to fill in some gaps in the timeline, but they were never the core evidence.
So he's building this huge, coherent story, but the foundation, the evidence has to be impeccable. That must have been a daunting task, trying to cover all of time.
It must have been. And he was very aware of his own mortality in the middle of it all.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. There's this really powerful quote where he reflects on it. He says, the days pass us by one after another, only driving us closer to our appointed time.
And the youth that is gone will never return while the burden of old age remains.
It's that awareness that brings this huge cosmic story right back to the human level.
And that's a perfect place to start. Let's go to the absolute beginning, the top of that hierarchy he lays out.
We begin with the throne, al-Arsh.
So this is the highest created thing.
The highest. It's above all the heavens. It's above all of creation. It's even above the highest level of paradise, al-Firdus.
Okay, but this is where it gets intellectually fascinating, right? Because there's this tension in the sources about what was absolutely first.
There is a real scholarly debate.
You've got one narration that says pretty clearly the first thing God created was the pen. And then it wrote down all of destiny.
Right. And it wrote down everything until the day of judgment. So it seems like a lock for first place.
But then
you have other, and many say stronger, evidence that the throne was already there. It was already over the water when the pen was commanded to write.
And that was, what, 50,000 years before the heavens and earth were even a thing?
Exactly. A huge stretch of time. So how do you square that?
That's the question. How do scholars reconcile that without, saying one source is wrong?
They make a distinction, a very subtle but important one. They talk about different kinds of primacy.
Okay.
So the throne has ontological primacy.
Yeah.
It was the first thing to, fundamentally exist.
It was just there first.
Right. But the pen has causal primacy. It was the first thing created in the context of ordering the world that would come after, the instrument of decree.
Ah, I see. So one is the seat of power, the throne, and the other is the tool that executes the plan, the pen. That makes sense.
It's a neat way to resolve it.
And speaking of the throne, let's talk about scale, because this is where our brains just sort of short circuit.
You really do.
We're told the distance from one side of the throne to the other would take 50,000 years to cross.
50,000
Yeah.
years. of travel just to get across it. And that's just the highest part of the structure.
Because below that, you have the footstool, al-Kursi.
And the footstool itself extends over all the heavens and the earth.
Wait. So the footstool contains everything we know. All 7 heavens, all 7 earths. That's already immeasurable.
It sounds it.
Yeah.
But then the tradition gives us this incredible image to put it in perspective.
What's that?
It says the footstool, in relation to the throne above it, is like a small iron ring.
Tossed into an open desert, I remember that.
That one image just shatters your whole concept of vastness.
It really does. Our entire universe is just a component of the footstool, which is itself basically nothing compared to the throne.
And tied to all of this is the master record, the preserved tablet, Allah al-Mahfuz.
The cosmic ledger, where everything is written down.
Everything, past, present, future. The complete blueprint.
Does Ibn Kathir describe what it's like?
He does, based on traditions. It's described as being made of white pearl. Its pages are red ruby, and everything is written on it with a pen made of light.
A pen of light. Incredible. So the blueprint is written. Now let's get to the construction phase, the 6-day creation timeline.
Right. The sources are all in agreement that it took 6 days.
But a day might not be what we think of as a day.
Exactly. That's the debate. The majority view is that, yeah, they were like our 24-hour days. But some major scholars, like Ibn Abbas, argued that each day was actually 1,000 of our years.
1,000 years. So the whole creation process could have taken 6,000 years. That's some serious time dilation.
It is. But whichever view you take, the order of creation is very specific.
It's not random.
Not at all. The Quran lays out a sequence. First, the foundation was created, the earth. That took 2 days.
Okay, the ground floor?
Then the earth was provisioned, sustenance, mountains, all its blessings.
Yeah.
That brought the total time to 4 days.
So the life support systems were installed before the roof went on.
Precisely. Only then was the heaven, which is described as being like smoke at first finished into the 7 heavens.
That took the last 2 days.
Right. And the final stage was this spreading out of the earth, making it ready for us, bringing out the water and the pasture.
And this foundation, the earth, isn't just one layer, is it?
No. Ibn Kathir confirms the consensus view that there are 7 earths, layered one beneath the other.
And this isn't just a geological factoid. It's tied directly to morality.
It's tied very forcefully to justice, specifically land ownership.
That's the warning, right?
A very severe one. The tradition says that if you seize even a handspan of land that isn't yours, on the day of judgment, you'll have that very piece of land wrapped around your neck, and it will pull you down through all 7 earths.
Wow. So a simple property dispute on Earth has consequences that involve the entire structure of the planet.
It shows you how deeply individual actions are tied to the cosmic order.
Which brings us to the beings who maintain that order, the inhabitants of the unseen, the angels.
Right. Honored servants, created from light. They worship constantly. They never disobey. But again, it's their scale that's just hard to grasp.
Okay, give us the scale.
All right. Let's take one of the angels that carries the throne.
The same throne, that's a 50,000-year journey across.
That's the one. The distance between the earlobe of one of those angels and its shoulder is a journey of 700 years.
700 years! For a bird to fly that distance, that's basically a galaxy-sized being.
Functionally, yes. And look at the archangel Jibril. He's described as having 600 wings.
600?
And the distance between each pair of wings is like the distance between the east and the west.
These are beings built for cosmic-level operations. And it's not just their size, it's their sheer numbers, right? And their jobs.
Absolutely. We know the big 3, Jibril for revelation, Mikael for rain, Israfil for the trumpet, but the workforce is almost infinite.
You're talking about the Beit el-Amor, the celestial sanctuary.
Yes. It's in the 7th heaven, directly above the Kaaba. Every single day, 70,000 new angels enter it to worship.
And after they pray once, they never return.
They never get another turn, which implies an angelic population so vast it's functionally infinite. The prophet said there isn't a single foot span in the heavens without an angel bowing or prostrating.
So the heavens are just saturated with worship. It's the engine of the cosmos. Okay, let's bring it all the way back down to Earth, to the water.
Specifically, to the 4 great rivers mentioned in the traditions, the Nile, Euphrates, Sihon, and Shan.
And they have a connection to paradise.
A conceptual one. Not that they physically flow from there, but they're likened to the rivers of paradise because of their clarity, their sweetness, their beautiful flow.
And the Nile gets some special attention.
It really does. It's described as being uniquely fine, never getting mossy like other rivers, even when it flows over rough ground. And its flow is counterintuitive.
How so?
It floods and brings abundance at the very time of year when other rivers in the region are at their lowest.
Which suggested to people a kind of divine source. And that led to a pretty disturbing custom that Ibn Kathir writes about.
Yes, the famous story. When the Muslims conquered Egypt, the commander, Amr ibn al-As, was told that the Nile wouldn't flood unless they performed their annual ritual,
Which was,
sacrificing a young virgin to the river.
and of course he refused.
He refused, and the Nile stopped flowing. Panic set in. So Amr wrote to the Caliph, Umar ibn al-Khattab.
What was the ruling?
Umar sent back a letter, but it wasn't addressed to Amr. It was addressed to the Nile itself,
To the river.
to the river. It basically said, if you flow on your own, then stop. But if God makes you flow, then I ask him to make you flow.
And he was told to throw the letter in the river.
He threw it in. And the next morning, the Nile had risen 16 cubits overnight. The custom was abolished forever.
That's an incredible story to include in a history book. A powerful statement.
It is.
Before we wrap up, what about the oceans? Why are they salty? The source has a specific wisdom for that, too.
It does. It's environmental.
Yeah.
If all that water were fresh, the decay from all the dead marine life would make the air on Earth foul and unlivable.
So the salt is a preservative. It purifies the atmosphere.
And protects life on land. It's all part of the design.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway for you, for the listener? We've gone from the throne down through the heavens, through the timeline of creation, the angels, and now to the rivers on Earth.
The synthesis is just. It's overwhelming precision. Ibn Kathir shows how the highest part of the hierarchy, the throne, the pen, is directly connected to the physics and the life support systems of our tiny planet.
It's all purposeful, ordered.
And accountable. That's the main thing.
Exactly.
Everything is accounted for.
And that accountability is what connects the cosmic scale right back to the individual, which leads to a final thought for you to reflect on.
Go on.
We mentioned that the punishment for stealing a tiny bit of land is to be dragged down through all 7 Earths.
A cosmic consequence for an earthly crime.
Exactly. And on the other hand, we have the throne itself, that thing so vast it makes our universe seem like a speck of dust.
The traditions say it shook at the death of one single righteous man, Sa'd ibn Mu'adh.
So when you put those two ideas together, the almost infinite physical scale of the cosmos against the immense unseen spiritual weight of a single human life, what does that imply?
It implies our actions have a weight we can't even perceive.
It does. What does that say about the true potential, the sanctity of your own life, and the choices you make every single day on this small planet? From the deepest earth to the highest throne, it all matters.
A lot to think about.
Indeed. We encourage you to explore the vastness of the tradition until our next deep dive.